Stop what you're doing right now. Gemini season is not coming, it's already here. And it's not subtle, it's loud, mental, chaotic, and if you don't get your mind in check, it's going to run you. Your thoughts are spinning. 1 second, you're clear. The next, you're second-guessing everything. You're trying to move forward, but you're stuck in a loop that's playing on repeat inside your head. That's not random, that's not you being weak, that's Gemini season in full. Effect, raw, unstable, unpredictable. This energy, it's meant to elevate you, but only if your mind is clean. And right now, it's not, because there are 7 mental blocks sitting in the way. 7 patterns, deep, subtle, wired into your thinking, that are holding your life hostage. And you don't even see it. These aren't surface-level problems. These are mental viruses, thought loops you picked up from trauma, from childhood, from society, from survival. And as long as they're running, nothing else in your life is going to. Not your relationships, not your decisions, not your peace, nothing. Let me be clear, this isn't about positive vibes. This is about mental authority. If you can't control your thoughts, they'll control you. Gemini season is your test. Most people will fail it, but you're here. That means part of you is ready to wake up. And block number 4, that one's brutal. It's silent, looks like strength, feels like logic, but it's the exact reason you haven't leveled up yet. Most people carry it for years without ever knowing it's there. You've felt it. That mental pressure, the push to do more, but the drag of invisible weight holding you back. It's not your life, it's your mind. And we're about to clear it. So before we go deeper, lock in right now. Hit subscribe, because this isn't just another video, it's a reset. And if you feel this already hitting your soul, drop a comment below with this affirmation. I choose mental freedom. I release what no longer serves me. Let's go. Block number 1, overthinking. Everything. Gemini season flips on your mental engine like nothing else. Your thoughts speed up, jumping from one idea to the next, like a mind that never shuts off. This fast energy feels powerful, but it can quickly turn against you, creating spirals of overthinking that trap you in a loop. Overthinking isn't just thinking too much. It's self-sabotage disguised as deep thought. It breaks down simple decisions into impossible puzzles. You might find yourself stuck for days, weeks even, unable to move forward because your mind keeps rewriting the same worries and doubts. Think about someone who spends hours crafting the perfect message, but never sends it. Or someone who can't decide which path to take, so they freeze and stay stuck. This is Gemini energy working against you, turning your mental speed into confusion and paralysis. The truth is, the longer you stay trapped in your head, the more life passes you by. Are you thinking your way out of your own blessings? If this resonates, type in the comments. I release the mental maze. I choose clarity. Because the first step to freedom is spotting when your mind is working against you, not for you. Now, let's break it down further. Overthinking is often rooted in fear, fear of failure, fear of making the wrong decision, or fear of missing out. It's the voice in your head that says, what if I mess up? Or what if I'm not good enough? These thoughts are not facts. They're stories you tell yourself, and they're keeping you from taking action. Every time you overthink, you delay progress, you delay growth, you delay your dreams. You may believe you're being careful, strategic, thoughtful, but in reality, you're just afraid to let go of control. Here's the hard truth. The faster your thoughts go, the slower your life seems to move. And the more you try to control the chaos, the more chaotic it becomes. You tell yourself you're being careful, strategic, thoughtful, but in reality, you're just afraid to let go of control. You want to be right. You want to be sure. You want to avoid mistakes. But the truth is, there are no perfect paths. Every decision carries risk. Every step forward has uncertainty. And yet, the people who thrive aren't the ones who wait for the perfect moment. They're the ones who move despite the noise. If this resonates with you, type in the comments. I release the mental maze. I choose clarity. Because the first step to freedom is recognizing when your mind is working against you, not for you. And remember, your thoughts are not facts. They are just thoughts. They are not always true. They are not always helpful, but they can feel very real and very heavy. So if you find yourself trapped in a loop of doubt, ask yourself, is this thought serving me? Is it helping me move forward, or is it holding me back? That's how you break free. That's how you reclaim your power. Not by trying to stop the thoughts altogether, which is nearly impossible, but by recognizing when they're not useful and choosing to let them go. Gemini season gives you the tools to do this. It gives you the speed, the energy, the potential. But it also demands that you learn to use that energy wisely. Don't let it burn you out. Let it fuel you forward. So today, make a choice. Either continue spinning in place or take one small step outside the loop. Send that message. Make that call. Start that project. Do something, even if it's not perfect. Because the only way out of overthinking is through action. Your mind is powerful, but it's not infallible. And the more you trust yourself to act, the more you'll see how much clearer everything becomes. Block number 2. Fear of looking wrong. Gemini rules communication, the way we speak, share, and connect. But one mental block keeps so many of us silent. Fear of looking wrong. You hold back your truth, worried what others might think. What if they judge you? What if you sound stupid? So, instead of speaking up, you stay quiet. This silence builds a wall inside you, blocking your growth. This isn't harmless. It causes resentment, missed opportunities, and a slow death of your dreams. Think about it. How many chances have you let slip just because you didn't want to risk being wrong or embarrassed? Here's a secret. The people you admire don't have fewer fears. They've just learned to speak through them. So ask yourself, how many dreams have you let die because you feared looking stupid? If you feel this, comment, I'm done hiding, my voice matters. Gemini season demands you stop shrinking and start speaking your truth. Let's dig deeper into why this fear is so powerful. At its core, the fear of looking wrong is about identity. It's about how we define ourselves based on how others perceive us. We grow up learning that our worth is tied to approval, to fitting in, to being liked, and those lessons shape how we express ourselves in the world. But when we carry this fear into adulthood, it becomes a prison. It stops us from sharing ideas, from taking risks, from being fully seen. We become experts at avoiding conflict, at staying safe, at keeping our truths hidden. And the worst part, this fear doesn't just affect your communication, it affects your entire life. When you're afraid to speak up, you miss opportunities. You let good ideas go unshared. You allow relationships to stagnate because you're too scared to be vulnerable. You start to believe that your voice doesn't matter, that your perspective isn't valid unless it's backed by someone else's approval. And slowly, you begin to lose touch with who you really are. Think about it. How many times have you held back your truth simply to keep the peace? How many conversations have you avoided because you were afraid of being judged? How many times have you kept your thoughts to yourself just to avoid the possibility of being misunderstood? The answer is probably more than you realize, and each time you choose silence over honesty, you're reinforcing that same fear, telling yourself that it's safer to stay small than to risk being seen. But here's the thing, courage isn't the absence of fear. It's taking action despite it. Every great leader, every creative genius, every bold thinker has had to face their own version of this fear. They've all stood at the edge of uncertainty and chosen to jump anyway. And that's exactly what Gemini season is asking of you now. If this strikes a chord, comment below, I'm done hiding, my voice matters. Gemini season demands that you stop shrinking and start speaking your truth. Your authenticity is your power. And the more you give yourself permission to show up as you are, flaws, doubts, and all, the more space you create for real connection, real progress, and real transformation. Remember, no one has a perfect message. No one speaks with complete confidence every time. But what sets the bold apart from the hesitant is their willingness to say it anyway, to take the leap, to trust that their voice is worth hearing. Your mind may try to convince you otherwise, but deep down you know the truth. Your voice matters. And right now, in the middle of Gemini season, it's time to reclaim it. Block number 3. Mental exhaustion from scattered focus Geminis. Energy pushes you to multitask, chase ideas, and jump between projects. But here's the catch. Trying to do everything at once drains your mind, leaving you exhausted and stuck. You start 10 things, but finish none. Your focus breaks into 1,000 pieces. Decision fatigue sets in. You feel tired but wired, overwhelmed by the noise inside your head. This mental burnout isn't laziness, it's your brain begging for clarity. Imagine someone juggling work, messages, plans, and doubts all at once, and none of it feels complete. That's the Gemini trap of scattered focus. Here's the truth, you're not lazy. You're just tired from chasing things that don't fit your true path. If this hits close, comment below. I choose focus. I release distraction. Because clarity begins when you stop chasing everything and start choosing what truly matters. Now let's unpack why this happens. Gemini season is known for its fast-paced, high-energy vibe. It's the sign that thrives on movement, momentum, and exploration. But when you don't channel that energy properly, it becomes a double-edged sword. Instead of using your speed to move forward, you end up bouncing from one task to the next, never completing anything. You start with so much energy, so many ideas, and such high motivation, but soon something shifts. The excitement fades. Your thoughts begin to scatter. You start 10 things, but finish none. Your focus breaks into 1,000 pieces, and instead of making progress, you find yourself spinning in place, doing a lot, but getting nothing done. This kind of mental burnout isn't laziness, it's your brain begging for clarity. Think about someone juggling work emails, personal messages, future plans, and lingering doubts all at once, and none of it feels complete. That's the Gemini trap of scattered focus. It's not that you lack willpower or discipline, it's that you're trying to do too much without a clear direction. And when that happens, decision fatigue sets in. You feel tired but wired, overwhelmed by the noise inside your head, and yet unable to shut off or rest. The truth is, you're not lazy. You're just tired from chasing things that don't align with your true path. When you spread yourself too thin, you lose momentum. Clarity comes when you prioritize what truly matters, but how can you even see what matters when everything seems equally important? Let's break this down. Gemini's fast-paced nature makes it easy to get caught up in the illusion of productivity. You might be doing a lot, but if it doesn't serve your bigger goals or bring you closer to your vision, it's just noise. And the more noise you create, the harder it becomes to hear your own voice. You end up running in circles, trying to do it all, and ending up with nothing to show for it. But here's the good news. Scattered focus is fixable. It's not a permanent condition. It's simply a sign that your mind needs to slow down and reconnect with your purpose. And Gemini season gives you the perfect opportunity to do exactly that. This is the time to ask yourself, what am I really here for? What does my soul want me to focus on right now? Once you answer those questions, everything else starts to fall into place. If this hits close to home, comment below. I choose focus. I release distraction. Because clarity begins when you stop chasing everything and start choosing what makes your soul sing. Remember, your brain is not built to handle infinite tasks at once. It needs structure, boundaries, and space to breathe. So give it what it needs. Say no to multitasking. Prioritize one thing at a time. Give it your full attention until it's done, or until you've made meaningful progress. Then and only. Then move on to the next. And most importantly, remember that it's okay to rest. Rest isn't failure, it's part of the process. Gemini season moves fast, but you don't have to run after every idea. Choose wisely, move with intention, and trust that when you align your energy with your purpose, everything else will fall into place. Your mind is powerful, but it also needs guidance. And right now, in the middle of Gemini season, it's time to give it the direction it's been waiting for. Block number 4. Lying to yourself. This one is the silent killer. Gemini's dual nature means you can wear masks, even to yourself. You tell yourself you're fine, that you're moving forward, but deep down, something isn't true. Maybe you convince yourself you don't need a break, that you're just busy, or you push fake positivity, pretending everything's okay when it's not. This block doesn't just slow your growth, it destroys your self-trust. It's toxic because it feels logical and strong, but it's the exact reason you haven't leveled up yet. You can't heal what you refuse to admit. Ask yourself, what are you still pretending not to know? What truths have you hidden away because they're uncomfortable? If you feel this weight, type, I choose truth over comfort. Because only by facing yourself can you break free. Let me be clear, this isn't about being negative or harsh. It's about honesty. It's about seeing your life for what it is, not what you wish it was. It's about choosing transparency over illusion, even when it's uncomfortable. Because the moment you start speaking the truth about your feelings, your needs, your boundaries, you begin to reclaim your power. And remember, truth doesn't always come easy. Sometimes it hits hard. Sometimes it makes you feel vulnerable. But that's exactly why it's so powerful. Because when you stand in your truth, you stop living in fear. You stop hiding behind illusions. You stop pretending to be someone you're not. Gemini season gives you the energy to do this. It gives you the speed, the courage, the clarity. But it also demands that you take responsibility for your thoughts, that you stop running from what you know to be true, that you stop lying to yourself in order to feel safe. So today, ask yourself, what am I pretending to be okay with? What part of my life is built on a lie? And what would happen if I finally let that truth out? Because the only way out of this block is through honesty. And once you step into that truth, there's no turning back. Block number 5. Needing to explain yourself. Gemini energy loves expression. But here's the catch. Over-explaining is a trap. It's not clarity, it's a sign of insecurity. When you feel the need to justify every thought, every action, it's usually because you don't feel worthy as you are. Over-explaining drains your power. It scatters your energy and leaves you exhausted, trying to please others or prove yourself. It's a trauma response, not a strength. Imagine constantly giving detailed reasons for your choices, but feeling invisible or misunderstood anyway. That's the cycle breaking your peace. You don't owe anyone a PowerPoint presentation about your life or your decisions. If this hits home, comment, I own my truth. I speak my peace. Start owning your words without apology. That's real freedom. Remember, confidence grows when you honor your instincts. The more you trust yourself, the less you'll feel the need to explain everything. The more you stand in your truth, the more people will start to listen. Not because you're convincing them, but because you're being honest. Gemini season gives you the energy to do this. It gives you the speed, the courage, the clarity. But it also demands that you stop running after validation and start standing in your own power. That you stop chasing approval and start creating space for peace. So today, ask yourself, what am I explaining that I don't need to? What truths have I been hiding behind long-winded justifications? And what would happen if I simply spoke from my heart instead of my fear? Because the moment you stop needing to explain yourself, you start living from your truth. And that's where real transformation begins. Block number 6. Attachment to old versions of you. Gemini energy pushes for growth and change, but many get stuck clinging to who they were. Holding on to old identities, old fears, old habits, old stories keeps you trapped in the past. It's comfortable, but it blocks your next level. You can't step into June carrying May's mindset. Something has to break for you to move forward. Ask yourself, who are you holding on to because it feels safe? And who could you become if you finally let go? If this resonates, comment, I release the past. I embrace my growth. Because real change starts when you stop shrinking to stay familiar. Remember, you don't have to become someone entirely new to evolve. You just have to be brave enough to let go of what's no longer working, to stop clinging to the safety of the past and start embracing the excitement of the future. So today, ask yourself, what part of me is ready to let go? What version of myself is no longer serving me? And who could I become if I finally stepped into my power? Because the moment you choose to release the past, you open the door to everything you've been waiting for. Block number 7. Letting everyone in your head. Gemini is social energy. It craves connection, opinions, feedback, but too much noise from others can cloud your intuition. When you let everyone's thoughts, judgments, and advice run your mind, you lose your own voice. Input overload creates confusion and paralysis. You second-guess every choice, stuck in a loop of what if. You forget to trust your own gut. Here's the truth. You don't need another opinion. You need your own permission to move forward. If this hits you, comment, I trust myself. I am my own guide. Clear the mental clutter and find the quiet power inside you. Remember, confidence grows when you honor your instincts. The more you trust yourself, the less you'll feel the need to validate every thought or decision with someone else. The more you stand in your truth, the more people will start to listen. Not because you're convincing them, but because you're being honest. Gemini season gives you the energy to do this. It gives you the speed, the courage, the clarity. But it also demands that you stop running after validation and start standing in your own power. That you stop chasing approval and start creating space for peace. So today, ask yourself, who's been speaking through me lately? Whose thoughts have been shaping my choices? And what would happen if I simply listened to my own voice instead of theirs? Because the moment you choose to silence the noise and step into your own truth, everything changes. Not because the world shifts around you, but because you shift within it. And that's where real transformation begins. Gemini season moves fast, and so can your transformation. This is the season of momentum, movement, and mental evolution. Growth doesn't have to be slow. When you align with the energy, shifts happen instantly. But alignment doesn't come from overthinking. It comes from decision, from action, from finally saying enough. Let go of needing all the answers. Let go of the past versions of you. Let go of the pressure to get it perfect. Just move. Just speak, just decide. Your voice is your weapon. Your mind is your map, and your truth, that's the key. This season can elevate you like no other, but only if you're willing to ride the wave instead of drowning in it. If you're ready to use this energy and rise, comment, I choose clarity, I choose forward. This is your shift. Don't waste it. You've seen the blocks, you've felt them, you've faced the truth, and now you've got the awareness and the choice. Gemini season is mental fuel. It can either burn you out or light you up. What you do from here is everything. If this message hit you deeply, it's because part of you knows you're ready for more. You're not here to play small. You're not here to stay stuck in the same cycles. You're here to clear your mind and claim what's next. So lock it in right now. Hit that subscribe button because this channel, this isn't just talk, this is transformation. We're not doing fluff, we're doing change. And if you're feeling it, share this with someone who needs to wake up alongside you. Together you can rise above the noise and claim your power. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I rise above the noise. I own my mind. I move forward now. This isn't the end. It's the reset.